Today on iConnect, I'm joined by Jordan, known to many online as Jordy or Jords. Jordan was just 18 years old when she was diagnosed with ocular melanoma, a diagnosis that would lead to the removal of her eye, followed by further treatment, including radiotherapy to the eye socket and reconstructive surgeries. Despite facing these challenges, most young people would never imagine, Jordan has continued to share this journey with honesty, courage, and humour. In this episode, we talk about her diagnosis, treatment, identity, resilience, and her future after being diagnosed with such a rare cancer at such a young age. Hey, Jordy, thank you so much for your time today on It's a Friday. Not for everybody listening, but for Jordy and I, it is Friday. So welcome to iConnect.
Thank you for having me.
You are a long way away. Can you tell us where you are?
I'm in Cape Town in South Africa at the moment.
And you're safely holed up in your university halls, I do believe.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
So somebody posted on our group chat that a young girl has been nominated for a Pride of Britain award. And I did a bit of research and I couldn't find you. And I was like, no, you're not in our group. And then I searched and I found you on TikTok, and bless you, you replied. And you were diagnosed with ocular melanoma, but we'll come on to that. Before your diagnosis, what was life like? And how old were you?
So I was 18 years old. It was our final year of high school. So everyone was locking in, working hard, trying to stay on top of everything because it was a big year. It determined what universities we were going to get into or not. So it was pretty stressful, but it was our last year of high school. We were enjoying it. It was, working hard, having fun. Yeah.
So did something actually happen that made you go to the doctors, or was it just a routine eye test?
No, so what happened was I was watching TV with my family one night, some odd Friday, and I felt this excruciating pain in my eye, and right then I knew this wasn't normal. So I took pain meds, and the pain didn't subside. It felt like something was squeezing my eyeball. So I'd never felt this pain before, so I wasn't sure what to think, but I knew it wasn't good. So I went to bed and I just couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning the whole night. I was like digging my face into my pillow because the pain was so bad. I was up early that morning at like 5 a.m., which wasn't normal because, So my mom was like, hey, no, the pain is still here. I mean, I cried to her. I was in tears. I said, the pain is unbearable. So she said, no, we're going to go to a doctor, an optometrist. So we went there and they did an eye pressure test and it was really high. So they referred me to an ophthalmologist. And this was Saturday morning now. So it was very last minute. So we went to an ophthalmologist and he again did an eye pressure test and it was high. And he diagnosed me with uveitis, which is just the high pressure of the eye, which can be caused by a virus or something. So he gave me some eye drops to take, which reduced the pressure in the eye, which also reduced the pain, but it was still very uncomfortable. So a few days later, I had a sore throat, so I went to my GP and I told him like, oh, well, it could be from the eye drops because, it runs through, it's connected. I thought it was running down my throat and that's why. And I told him I was diagnosed with uveitis and he said that wasn't normal and he was quite concerned actually. And he said, it's not normal for your age to be diagnosed with this. So he referred us to an ophthalmologist and we got a last minute booking. He just squeezed us in between all his patients. And he looked at my eye and he diagnosed me with uveitis again. And he was explaining to me what uveitis was and this is what can cause it and stuff. And I wasn't really listening. I was quite tired. I was just happy I was missing class. It was, I think it was a Monday morning and I was exhausted. And then he dilated my pupils. I went out for 5 minutes to wait for them to dilate. And then he had a look at my eye again and he found the melanoma. So
Wow.
that's how I was diagnosed.
Okay. And I shouldn't imagine you had ever heard of it before, had you?
Oh, no, not at all. I had no idea what a melanoma was. I was like, "Oh, okay, I don't have uveitis," but I didn't realize how bad I didn't realize how bad it was until he was a family friend of ours. So he was very like he was like, "Oh, no." I think it was a bit of a shock for all of us.
Hmm.
So he broke down into tears, and I was like, "Oh, what happened? Like, did something happen to his family or?" And then my mom started crying, and I was like, "Oh no, what's happening?" I don't have uveitis, guys. And they explained to me what a melanoma was, and like, I think my heart just started racing, and like, I didn't really like I don't know, it took a while for me to come to terms with it. I was very shocked, and I was like, "Oh, no, this can't be real." So I didn't really know how to feel about it in that moment.
No, I can imagine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a shocking, shocking diagnosis. And did you hit the internet at all?
Well, my mom explained it to me afterwards,
Okay.
and then I had a better understanding. I did have a look at some photos or just some research, a little bit of research. But yeah, yeah.
And from that moment, I would imagine it was just a roller coaster of events to actually losing your eye. I mean, when did you find out that they were going to remove your eye?
So after my diagnosis, he said, "Well, you have to go fly to Cape Town to go see another ophthalmologist who specializes
Hmm.
in this area." So 2 weeks after my diagnosis, I flew to Cape Town and he had a look at my eye. He did some scans, x-rays. They had better technology here in Cape Town. So he said that I'm going to have to either have radiation, brachytherapy treatment, or I'll have to have my eye removed. And I was actually given those 2 options only, and right then I realized, like, there's a very high possibility I'll lose my eye because the radiation could like, there was a high chance of me going blind anyways from the radiation. So, I was like, just I knew deep down that something like that would happen. About after a few weeks after I went to go see him, he phoned me and after he consulted with other specialists around the world because he wasn't sure like what should we do. And then he phoned my parents and they sat me down. I got back from school, I had a horrible day. I had a test and I was just, a long day. I sat down, I just wanted to watch TV and chill. And they sat down with me and they broke the news to me that I'm going to have my eye removed. And that's when everything felt real to me. It was really hard to hear. I burst into tears straight away, and I think that was the first time. It was the first time I saw my dad cry. Both of my parents were. I think it was a very hard moment for my family. My sisters hadn't been told yet, so I mean, even after that, it was a really hard day for all of us. So then we got on the phone with him, and he explained to us what will happen and why. He said that we should go to that route and why I have to get my eye removed. And about a month after my diagnosis, I had to get my eye removed. So 2 weeks after he told me I was getting my eye removed, I had to go in to get my eye removed. So I didn't really have a lot of time to process it all. It all happened quite quickly. So
Okay.
it was, yeah.
And did you share this with your friends as well? Have you got a close circle of friends?
I didn't want to make a big thing out of it. So, I mean, when I got diagnosed with the melanoma, I told my best friend, but like, I didn't really know how to say it. I kind of just broke it down to her casually, like, "Oh, they found this in my eye," and then she started crying. Like, at first, I found it really hard to get upset about because I still hadn't come to terms with it. But my friends were so supportive. I told a few friends at school. I didn't really tell, I mean, some of my closest friends I didn't even tell, which I think was harder for me because then I kind of had to carry this all on my own. I had to go to school and act like none of this is happening and, you know, I'm not dealing with all of this. So it was pretty
What
hard.
what time of year was it in the school year? Were you coming up towards a holiday or
Yeah,
where were
it
you?
was. It was June, July. We had a lot of tests. It was a lot of tests, assignments, everything portfolio based, just like building up to get the marks before we go into prelims and then final exams. So it was a lot of work to get done, and I kind of just focused on my work. I kind of try to put it aside because, okay, well, let me not worry about this now. Let me worry about my work. So it was a distraction for me. But yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it was. Did you use any like tools, to use the kind of psychological term? Did you have any specific tools, or did you just go headlong into work? Was there anything you did to help you through this?
Um,
Like not now, but just that period of time between the diagnosis and learning that you had to have your eye removed. What did you how
well,
did you
what
cope?
I did, social media, actually.
Okay.
I think it was a day or two before I was going in to get my eye removed. I made a TikTok. I just put all my feelings out there. Kind of like, I didn't expect anyone to see it. I was like, oh, well, this is how I'm feeling. This is what's happened. And that was kind of like the beginning of my story. And I didn't expect it to blow up. 2 days later, on the way to the hospital, I had 1 million views already. And the comments, the likes, the share, everything just kept coming. And it was the positive comments, all of, the assurance. That's what helped me cope with it all.
Okay.
A lot of one-eyed creators on TikTok, they reached out to me. Famous people reached out to me, and they're like, "Well, if you have any questions or if you need anything, and you've got this," like they were so nice about everything, and it made me feel like, okay, you know what, it might not actually be that bad. So it was definitely social media played a very big role in helping me cope with everything.
And was this an account that you had anyway, or did you open a new account to document your journey?
No, it was just my normal TikTok account. I had like 100
Okay.
followers. I didn't post a lot. I didn't make TikToks. It was kind of just, I'd make the odd video or two, but I never really used it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've had the same account.
And how many followers have you got now? Not that this is what this is about at all, but how many people are following you now?
I've got 44,000 followers at the moment.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And has anyone else your age reached out to you, Jordy, who has undergone anything like this, actually ocular melanoma focus? Not so much. It sounds awful, but there's quite a lot of people do lose an eye. You don't realize how
Mhm.
many people do because the prosthetics are
Yeah.
so good. But ocular melanoma obviously is still very rare. But have you come across people who found you on social media who've undergone this?
So I think they've all had different types, but very similar experiences. And yeah, I connected with a lot of people who've had the same experiences with ocular melanoma or, even losing an eye. So it was quite nice to kind of relate to them. They were all very different. A lot of them were, yeah, just different diagnoses. So I'm not sure if they were actually melanomas. But
Okay.
now that I think of it, I don't know because it's such a rare diagnosis.
Yeah, it is. It is so incredibly rare. There's not much to say to that other than, yeah, we're it's the worst possible club with the best possible people, I think is a quote that a few of us live by. And it's one that you don't want to be in, but when you're in it as a group of people worldwide, we're all connected by something actually very small, which was the initial diagnosis in the eye. So losing your eye, it does it it affects so much more than just your vision. I mean, at such a young age, you were still 18 when you had your eye removed.
Yeah.
How did that change your thoughts, feelings about yourself? I mean, do you want to start by telling us about the surgery itself? Did it hurt? What happened when you woke up?
Yeah, so the day of the surgery, my best friend wanted to come with, but my sisters wanted to come with. A whole bunch of people wanted to be there, but I think my parents kept it quite small because it would have been very overwhelming for me. So it was my parents and my boyfriend at the hospital with me. And yeah, I try to keep everything like, lighthearted, not really think about it until I was actually like, okay, we need to get you to theater now. And that's kind of like when I was getting wheeled in, I just, I started like, panicking a bit. I was bawling my eyes out actually. And my mom was crying. And, one of the nurses, they obviously didn't know what surgery I was having, but they said, oh, it's a quick surgery, you'll be fine. And I don't think they realized how life changing it was. So, I was waiting to go into theater and I just couldn't stop sobbing. And one of the nurses came to me and they said, do you want me to call your mom? And I was like, please. So my mom came and she sat with me and she, calmed me down and it was really nice. Yeah. So then I went into surgery and I asked the doctors, the surgeons, if they played music while doing surgery. And then they're like, oh yeah, I'm like, oh, can we play music while you're doing it? Because some surgeons actually listen to music while doing surgery. So I thought that was really cool. So I don't think they did. I can't remember. I went out pretty quickly. And then when I woke up, I was very, very drowsy. I was very drugged up, groggy almost. And I think the first thing I said when I woke up was like, I'm a pirate now, or something. my boyfriend thought it was the funniest thing. The nurses just looked at me and they just started laughing. Um, but yeah, after that, I was kind of like in and out of it. I'd be awake a little bit and then fast asleep. And then, you know, I didn't really, I was kind of just like, kind of recovering, but I didn't really think about it. Everything was patched up and I couldn't really move my eye a lot. So I couldn't really feel anything. So the pain was well managed. The only time I really was uncomfortable was when I woke up like the middle of the night
Mm.
and I just couldn't sleep and I was in pain. And it always is a horrible staying in hospital overnight and you just wake up and yeah. But that was like the only pain I kind of felt. Otherwise, it was really well managed.
And there must have been a big reveal when they take that dressing off and you see yourself in the mirror for the first time.
Yeah, so I went home. I could take my plaster off after 5 days. So each day it was fine, I was still making TikToks and everything. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. I've blown up. Let me just document my journey now. And on the fifth day, I went to go get my plasters removed. And I was like really worried. I was like, oh my word, I wonder what it's going to look like. And I didn't really know what to expect. As soon as the surgeon took the plaster off, I had a look at it and I felt so sick. I got such a fright. Like my stomach just dropped and I felt so nauseous. I was like, I got really hot and flustered. I was I thought I was going to throw up. And the doctor explained to me, this is just shock. You're not going to throw up. Just drink some water. It is a bit of, everything just looked so alien to me. I felt like I looked like an alien. Everything was just so like purpley, yellowy, all bruised and swollen. So I hated the way I looked. And I said, please, please, can I just put a plaster over? So he patched it up again afterwards. And I went home and I didn't really want to show my sisters. I didn't want to show anyone else. I didn't want them to react badly. I
Are
didn't
they
want them to
younger
be
than you?
frightened. I have one older sister and one younger sister. And I
Okay.
think we're like 2 years apart with each of them. So I didn't want to like frighten them almost. I think my biggest worry was seeing a bad reaction from them. So when I showed my sisters, I think one of them was like a bit like shocked. And, it was the younger one. My younger sister was a bit shocked and a bit scared, and that didn't really make me feel good. Like I completely understand. So I was like, I understand. Let me just patch it up and everything. And then my one friend, she lived on the other side of the country and I phoned her and she's like, oh, please show me, please show me. So I showed her and like her reaction was like, oh my word, it looks so good. They did such an amazing job. Her and her mom came and they looked and they're like, oh my word, it's amazing. And they said, you shouldn't cover it up. It looks way better than what we expected. And that's kind of when I was like, okay, I don't need to patch it up. So that was a
Okay.
positive reaction. And then, yeah, afterwards, my boyfriend was like, oh my word, it looks so cool. Like, oh, please can I like take a picture? And it looked very like marbled almost. So it was pretty cool. And that kind of boosted my confidence a bit.
Oh, bless you. I mean, it just, at such a young age. I can't imagine how you coped with that. So again, thanks to friends and your social media and people saying
Yeah.
good things. I hope everything has been positive and you haven't kind of taken anything horrendous. But it didn't end there, did it, Jordy? It
No,
just went on. So
it went
what
on.
happened
So
next? Yeah.
so I thought like, okay, I've had my eye removed, things are gonna get better now. And I was completely wrong. It doesn't end by just getting your eye removed. There's so many other obstacles that come in the way. I mean, emotionally and physically. Yeah, at first I was like, fine. I wore glasses at school. Like I went back to school about 2 weeks. Well, I had a holiday and then I came back after the holiday. The school was very accommodating. They were like very nice about it. We're not allowed to wear glasses, like sunglasses or like jewelry at my school. So I was the only one who was allowed to wear sunglasses. So I felt pretty cool. But I remember I was at the library getting a book or something, and a little girl looked at me. She's like, "Oh, she's got one eye," and she ran off to her friend to tell her. And that's like after that, it was still very new to me. So I was like, I got a bit upset by that, and I like put my glasses on and like walked out. I was very upset about that. And I know little kids, they're like very interested. They're not used to seeing all this type of stuff. So it's very different. So I don't blame her for, you know, reacting like that. Otherwise, I was pretty confident around my friends, just in like I went out in public and everyone's reactions were like they were so interested in hearing what had happened so far. And I was, very open to talking about it. Everything went so well. And then about 3 weeks after I had my eye removed, they had already gone and taken it to Cape Town to do a biopsy just to make sure that they had gotten all the cancer from the melanoma. And they said 99% of the cancer was removed, but there's still that 1%. So unfortunately, you need to go in for brachytherapy treatment. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's only 5 days. It should be fine. And I think we really underestimated it. Like we really didn't think it was going to be that hectic. So I flew to Cape Town, and my mom and I weren't actually going to go see the doctor the day before, just so she could explain it to us. We're like, oh, no, it's fine. We don't need to. Luckily, we did go. And as soon as she explained it to us, what they were actually going to do, they were going to make 6 incisions around my eye and implant 6 rods with radioactive seeds far back into my eye. And then also put a plate, what is it called?
Ruthenium.
Yeah, on my
Yeah.
eye with radioactive seeds in. And they said we're going to leave it for 5 days. And she said it is going to be quite hectic. And thank goodness we went, because I wouldn't have expected any of that. And so we went in the next day and got it all done. And as soon as I came out from them implanted it in my eye from surgery, it was the worst pain. I woke up and I was in tears. I said, please just get me something, give me medicine. Like, this is awful. And it was the worst pain I've ever felt. So they gave me stuff and it didn't really help. They didn't want to give me the strong stuff because it was very addictive. So they were worried, if I'm on that for 5 days, then I could get addicted to it. So it gave me some like mild stuff, well, strong, but not strong enough. And it was the worst 5 days of my life. I woke up in pain every day. It was just so uncomfortable and I couldn't shower. I couldn't get out of bed. My hair was filthy. I had to use dry shampoo. I couldn't even go on my cell phone. So I was literally just sitting like with my eyes closed the whole 5 days. I couldn't go on my laptop. I couldn't go on my cell phone. I couldn't study. I had prelims exams a week after, and that's like the big exams before our final exams. So
Yeah.
it was a lot, and I was really stressed about that. So after the radiation, I had a look at my eye afterwards, and it was very, very bruised and swollen, worse than when I had my eye removed. The pain was actually
So,
worse than having my eye removed.
so these rods, I mean, I've seen them on TikTok.
Yeah.
They were they actually embedded into the bone so that the radiotherapy went into the bone socket, the eye
Yeah.
socket.
Yeah, the whole socket.
Wow.
So they went right back. And it
Wow.
just felt like my eye was on fire, because it literally was. It was burning
Yeah, it was.
everything, killing everything around. So it was very painful, and I don't think I've ever felt a pain like that ever since. That would definitely be the most pain I've ever felt in my life.
So they were about sticking out from your face. They were about an inch or so. So are you in inches or centimeters? So let's say 3.5, 4 centimeters, maybe an inch. I'm not sure. Not very good with that. How
That's,
much
yeah,
was on the inside? Was it the same distance? Do you know how far they went
this
in?
much, I think.
Oh,
Well, this was like the whole rod. So if this was the
yeah, yeah.
outside, this was the
Okay.
inside. So
Okay.
about this much, I think. So they were quite
Yeah.
big.
So
And they
yeah.
stuck
So
out,
you
so I
probably
had to have extra padding. It looked like I had an avocado on my head, because it was like so stuck out. They just had to like put extra padding, and so I didn't knock it and push them deep down. Um,
And did they put a lead coating? Because when you have
yes,
brachytherapy, you get like the lead patch, which is actually really heavy and uncomfortable anyway. I felt like,
yes,
I think I once described it as the bad raw edge of a tin of tuna, like the edge of the can. It was that kind of sensation around my
yeah.
eye. But the nurses and people that come in and spend time with you, obviously being young, the last thing that people want is to spend time in a radioactive room. So you probably didn't see much of your friends or sisters or any of the young people while you were in there, I imagine.
Well, so we came to Cape Town. It was only my mom and I that came. My dad stayed at home to look after my sisters, and they were still at school. Well, my younger one was still at school. So he had to stay behind and, make sure everything was still in order. And we have family here in Cape Town. So my mom stayed there, and she used to come every day. Like, I think it was like an hour drive to where I was in the hospital from where she was staying, every day to come spend time with me. And I was grumpy, or I was in pain. I was grumpy. I was sleep deprived. So I did give her a bit of attitude some of the days. And I felt really bad because, she was just there to look after me. She could only spend 20 minutes in the room, and she had to
Mhm.
wear like a special coating, and I had to have that lead thing over just so she wasn't exposed to the radiation that much. But
Yeah.
she would bring my cousins, like, one of them will come in for like 20 minutes. So I did have nice company, which was really nice. One of my friends came, she lives here in Cape Town, so she came to visit me, which was really nice. So it was nice. It cheered me up a lot. They cheered me up.
I hope your food was okay because one of our hospitals here, the food is renowned to be awful when you spend those 5 days.
No, it was actually delicious. The food was really good, but I would be like, my meals would be catching up to me. Like, I would get like dinner after I've just eaten breakfast. Like, I wasn't eating like at the right times. I
Yeah.
lost my appetite. So I would eat whenever, and then as soon as I've just finished my breakfast, they would bring in dinner, and I was like, oh. So yeah, but the food was good, which was good. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to be thankful for kind of small mercies. Do you reckon you've had any kind of after effects of your radiotherapy at all? Do you think it had an effect on you physically?
Oh, definitely. After radiation, I thought things would get good. I was like, okay, cool. I got my new prosthesis fitted. I was like, okay, I've got an eye now. It was great. And then slowly things started to change. My eyebrows and eyelashes all fell out from the radiation. My skin tightened and pulled back, so my prosthesis looked like it was bulging out of my face. I was so self-conscious. My skin would flare up or go all red, and yeah, it was very frustrating, and I would get very uncomfortable and sore. Like, when I did wear my prosthesis, I couldn't go a full day without with it in. I would have to take it out, and even last year, I was still having those problems, and I couldn't do anything because I had to wait for things to heal before I could have any reconstructive surgery or anything to fix it. The skin was
Which you've
very
now gone on to
sensitive.
have done.
Yes. So at the end of last year, no, it was actually the beginning of this year, I was able to have reconstructive surgery. So they got a fat filler from the side of my stomach and implanted it around my on the top of my eyelid, and they injected steroid injections around my eye, which has really helped with the inflammation and the redness of it. So yeah, the reconstructive surgery was amazing. It did wonders. It healed so well, and I was so happy. Then I started having problems with my eye now. And like I just got a new prosthetic as well, made in December to fit my eye because my eye had changed. My whole eye shape had completely changed. So I had to get a new one fitted, and then I had reconstructive surgery. And now recently, still the effects of radiation, it's been almost 2 years and the radiation is still catching up to me. What happened was the muscles that were holding my implant in place, they had been affected by the radiation. They started to deteriorate. And so, like, they kind of tightened and pushed the implant outwards. So, my implant was kind of being pushed outwards out of my eye. And if I had waited any longer, it would have fallen out. So I had to get another surgery where they took more fat from my stomach and they implanted it around like the implant and kept it in place. So it changed my eye shape now. It had come more out. So I'd have to get a new prosthetic made to fit that new shape now. But 2 weeks after I had that surgery, I started feeling the same pain again in my eye. What happened was the graft didn't take and it began to rot in my eye. So I had to have last minute surgery to get that removed. And this was about a month ago. So I had that removed and then they took and then they took muscle from my temple here. I don't know if you can see. There's like a little incision here. They took
Okay.
muscle from here and pulled it across my eye, like my eye, just to circulate the
So for those of
blood
you who
flow.
are driving, Georgie just and listening to this in the car, Georgie just leant forward and just explain again what they've done. Have they taken the muscle
So
from where?
from the side of my temple, there's that muscle that it creates its own like blood flow. So it's got really good blood circulation. So he pulled it across. It's now helped circulate the blood. So there won't be any more problems with the muscle like deteriorating or anything else because it's all fresh and it's all being circulated and you know,
Yeah, I mean it's live tissue. You've got to keep it alive. It needs a
yeah,
blood source, doesn't it, coming in? And this
exactly.
was a month ago. You had this one redone.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
but the only problem is everything else is healed perfectly, but a part of it closer to like the inside, like the towards the my nose, like the corner of your eye here, that area there is very sensitive and the muscle keeps tearing. So it tore a few weeks ago and I had to get stitches put in just to keep her closed. And then a few days later, I think those stitches tore. So my eye's been bleeding a bit. It's not sore or anything, but it's the stitches have obviously there's blood everywhere. Sorry, that's a bit graphic. So now recently on Monday, I went to go see my ophthalmologist and he's now put in more stitches and hopefully these stay. I mean, it's been 3 days and 4 days and it's already looking so much better. So I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, because when we met, you were patched, but you've taken it off. I don't think just for our benefit. I think it's feeling better, isn't it?
Yeah. I think so. I haven't got anything in my eye to protect it from anything flying in or like dust or germs. So it was good to prevent any infection as well.
And moving forward from this, you will have a new, what's it called when they take the
Prosthesis.
impression? That's the word.
Oh,
So
yes.
will you have a new impression done and then another new prosthesis to fit where you are now? Or are you hoping that you can actually use the one that you've got?
Hopefully, I can use the one I've got. I actually asked my ophthalmologist on Monday, and he said, hopefully, we can use the same one. Once this is all healed, I'll be able to tell. We'll try fit it in. If it doesn't fit, we'll have to get a new one made. Hopefully, it does fit because this is a new prosthesis. It's only a few months old, and you're supposed to get them replaced every 4 years. So I've already had two prostheses in the span of 2 years. So
Oh,
hopefully I
well.
won't have to have another one made.
Yeah, I hope so too. And the kind of systemically, do you think the radiations had any effect on you at all? Do you get tired or as a young person, I'm just wondering, so I know for me, I have permanent fatigue. And I know a lot of our other members and a lot of the people I speak to who've undergone radiotherapy, especially above the neck, it does have quite an effect on the body.
I actually haven't really experienced any of those. My eye does get quite tired, but that's also it's a lot of strain. This eye's taken a lot of strain as well. So they both get really tired if I'm staring at a laptop or my phone or like for a long time. It gets a bit tired and I just need to rest it a bit. And that's my problem. I don't take any breaks. I should be taking frequent breaks, but I don't. So that's when it gets very tired and irritable. But
Uh,
otherwise, yeah.
And you're studying what? What are you studying?
I'm studying communication design. So it's like marketing design and graphic design.
So you're quite a creative person. And what do you want to do? Do you know what you want to do? I mean, you're in Cape Town now, but I know there's rumors that you might come over to us.
Maybe. Um, yeah, I would love to live in the UK. My boyfriend's currently living there, and I hear all the amazing things about it. The lovely weather. Apparently, it's beautiful in summer, and I love the sunshine. I think the only problem will probably be the winters, but I'm sure I can adjust to that. It looks like a beautiful country. I've never been to London before, so
Which is ironic because you are actually nominated for a Pride of Britain award. So I have reached
I
out to
know.
them, and I think you deserve one. We'll give you one. So let's see where that goes. Bless you. Um,
Thank you.
and your ophthalmic team, or the optometry team over in South Africa, do they explain to you about any future surveillance anywhere else in your body? I mean, are you going to go down the scan route? You're very young, but are they going to monitor you for any spread of this thing? Because it can disappear off, as you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. I go for frequent checkups, but not just my eye. I go for every 6 months, I go for CT scans, MRI scans, frequent blood tests. It's better to, like, I've been diagnosed with Lynch syndrome. So it's a genetic cancer that my dad has. It means that you're more prone to have cancer, like ovarian cancer, colon cancer, and breast cancer.
Okay.
So I do have full body scans and I go for just to check all those places because it is very likely for me to eventually or sometime catch that cancer.
Have they any idea whether your ocular melanoma has appeared because you have this Lynch syndrome?
So I think I was the first patient on record with Lynch syndrome and ocular melanoma, which is very, very rare because it's not likely because you have Lynch syndrome, it's not melanomas aren't very likely to appear. So they did the testing, but they still haven't got a definite answer whether it was linked or not. So they don't know if there is that connection there or not.
Are people fighting over your eye, Jordy? Has it kind of been in various different hospitals?
Oh my, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's the most bizarre conversation, isn't it? Well, do you know where your eye is now? It's
I
not something
know,
I
I
bet you
know.
ever thought you'd say.
I know. I didn't even get to look at it.
Oh, I've just got this image, kind of a jar sitting on a shelf and floating with water with formaldehyde and it's floating in there. But I know that's not the case because obviously they splice them all up and they put them on these medical blocks, and then
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
tiny, tiny slivers that are sent off for future kind of exploration. And I mean, I hope one day they find out why any of us have ended up with this incredibly rare cancer. Do your sisters carry the Lynch syndrome?
I'm not sure if they've been tested yet. My one sister's in America, so she hasn't come back in a while. Like it's very, she comes every year or two. So when she comes again, she will definitely get tested. And my younger sister, she's also, I mean, she's almost 17 years old now, so she should get tested as well.
Cancer, unfortunately, isn't new in your family, is it?
No, my dad's had past experiences with cancer. So in 2012, I think he was diagnosed with colon cancer, stage 4. So it was very, very hard for him. He had to go on chemo treatment, and fortunately, he didn't lose his hair. But I was very little, but I remember he was very, very ill. And then I think 3 years after that, they found a melanoma in his ear. So he had to have surgery to move that. He had some radiation with that as well. So, I mean, I was very young, so I didn't even remember seeing my dad go through all these surgeries. I do remember it was very, very hard on the family, very emotional as well. And then a year before I had my eye removed, 2023, he had colon cancer again and prostate cancer. So even then, it was very hard for us. He was very sick. I remember going to visit him in hospital after school, and I was writing exams. I think 2023 was a really hard year for my family. Just seeing my dad like that, it was very scary. So yeah, I've seen him at his worst. That's why when I got diagnosed with ocular melanoma, I didn't really want to believe it because I almost didn't want to put myself on his level of severity because I know how bad cancer is and how bad cancer can get. And I didn't really think mine was life-threatening, although it could be life-threatening because if it's spread, it could go in my brain and I could get brain cancer. So it is very severe. I think seeing my dad go through that and fight cancer really inspired me. And I think that's where I got most of my strength from during this whole journey with losing my eye and going through everything. I think every day I wake up, I be like I'm strong and I'm brave for him.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so lovely. I mean, friends, family, and community, I think the support that everybody can give and the love that you feel and the strength and the courage, actually, Geordie, because you've got to have guts to go through what you've been through, to go through what so many people have been through, treatment, ongoing problem after problem after problem. I mean, you're very young, but I guarantee you throughout this life of yours, so many people are going to say to you, well, I've never come across that before. Gosh, that's very rare. Wow, that doesn't happen very often because it just seems to be the kind of topic of the medical profession. And you'll find when you go places that people want to survey kind of where you are because I shouldn't imagine that procedure's performed very often with the rods. So yeah, it is. It's very. It's just scary, actually. it's It is what it is. And how long have you got left at uni?
Uh, yeah, so I'm on my
Excellent.
second year now. I've still got next year and then I'll be done.
And how does your university timeline run? Because we're October to July roughly over here. So when's the beginning of your university year?
Feb until like November. So February till November.
Okay, and then you have a break because what? It's just too hot?
No, no. So we do have holidays in between. We have our holiday, June, July holiday now coming up, but that's only 3 weeks. I think it's a thing in South Africa. Every December, it's like our holiday. So December, usually it's some universities, it's like December to Feb. Some are December to March even. So just the whole of December and Jan, I don't know, it's the best part of the year as well. Yeah, it's always just been a holiday, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you live in a beautiful area, but you live independently completely. I mean, you're in your university accommodation. Now, I
Yes.
don't know what age you guys learned to drive out in South Africa, but had you started to learn to drive before you got diagnosed?
So we can get our learner's license at 17.
Mhm.
I only wrote my learners at 18 and I failed. And I was meant to go back and redo it, but everything with my eye happened and time just went away. And it hasn't been a priority at the moment because you have like it expires after a year if you haven't got your driver's license yet. So I know I'm not going to be driving, especially in Cape Town. It's busy, and I haven't really tried driving on myself. I've tried driving um, before I lost my eye, and even that was difficult for me. But I think driving will be quite hard for me. I think just but I'd have to have like the automatic car, like vehicles, and with the ones that have that screen, like so I don't have to look back all the time in my blind spot, because I think looking around will be very difficult. Sorry, my eyes just it's just running a
No,
bit.
don't.
Oh, I forgot this cream and my antibiotic cream in my eye now. So it runs sometimes. It melts in my eye and runs down. Sorry.
The joys.
So yeah, sorry about that.
Well, that's something that's going to happen. I mean, you've got ocular melanoma. You've just had surgery again, so I'm glad you've got these antibiotics. How long do you have to have those for?
I'm not too sure. I have my other doctor's appointment on Wednesday, so I think up until then I'll just put it in. But it melts in my eye, so it's always constantly running with every creams that I do put in my eye. So it's just something I have
Uh,
to live
the
with.
the joys of, and I do believe you've got your prosthesis there, haven't you? So
Yes, I
anyone who's
do.
not driving, please don't look at the screen. Let's have a look.
So this is my prosthesis here. Well, this is the
Wow.
corner where the pinkish part is, and
Yep.
it's not round. A lot of people mistake it like, oh, glass eye, it's round and everything. This is, oh, it's like thinnish almost.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the shape. It's kind of like a shell shape. But yeah, that's my, oh,
And that's
there.
been painted bespoke to match your remaining eye?
Yeah. Well, if I put it, um, it's really well done. It matches it perfectly. The colors, it's actually amazing. And he didn't copy a photo of me. It's just what he looked at my eye and painted a bit. And it's done over 3 days. But I mean, he didn't even look at a photo for reference. And he got the colors spot on. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm very happy. I was so happy. That's why these surgeries, I was so disappointed because my eye finally looked normal. Like if you looked at it, you wouldn't be able to tell if it was a fake eye or not. So
Well, is that
yeah,
just sitting on your desk in front of you, Jordy, or does it have a house?
it has a house. It has a house.
Okay.
It's got a little container, and I keep it in my eye bag. I've got all my creams and drops in here for my eye drops that I always put in, and the antibiotic cream. So I've got a whole bag full of there's lipas in there. So it's my little eye bag. I carry it everywhere I go, and my eye goes in there. Because sometimes I'll go places and I'm like, oh, I left my eye behind. So I left my eye at home.
Have you ever lost it?
Um, no, but I have left it on like a basin sink, like the bathroom sink at home, and my little sister just finds it there. She picks it up and takes photos with it. I remember my friend's house, my boyfriend's friend's house. I had taken it out to clean, and I was gonna go back into the bathroom, and he went in and he walked in. He just saw my eyes and he's like, Jordan, I went to the bathroom and I just saw your eye just sitting there staring at me. So it is really shame. But yeah, it has a house and I usually keep it everywhere with me. But yeah.
Well, let's hope that it can spend most of its life in your face, and and the rest
Yes,
of us
let's hope.
can marvel at the incredible artwork. Oh, it's brilliant. No, it's just so your depth perception and everything. Obviously, you are monovision. You have monocular vision, and
Yeah.
yeah, driving. I mean, even walking can be a challenge.
I think definitely in public, it's very stressful for me. I mean, my friends I've made, friends I've made now last year at university, they even know now when we walk, like when we're walking in the streets or something, they always walk on my left side. Just
Yeah,
so I'm not bumping into strangers. And, when I'm crossing the road, like sometimes I'll hold onto their shoulder or something. Just
yeah.
because it's very stressful. I mean, my mom didn't want me going on runs because I live in the city. So going on runs on busy streets, so she didn't want me to do that because there's cars coming back and forth all the time. And I need to look, I'm always looking, double checking, making sure when I'm crossing roads and stuff that there's no cars. So it has been a bit difficult, especially at airports. I think that's the worst. I hate going to the airport now and flying because it's so stressful. There's people always, and if I'm wearing my prosthesis, they don't know that I have one. So if I'm bumping into people, they might be like, oh, iffy about it. But honestly, just can't see. So it is very stressful for me. I hate flying. So I actually recently, after my surgeries, I've been wheeled in on a wheelchair, and I'm like, that is so much less stressful. Like it's so much easier if I'm just being wheeled in and I'm not having to carry all these bags and worry about bumping into people if I'm getting wheeled onto the plane. So that has actually been a lot easier for me, and I actually might just start doing that now.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea for a lot of people, and I know what you mean. I mean, I haven't flown for a while now, but even a train station, sometimes even the shopping mall, when people are just walking at you, and you just, if I'm on my own, it's terrible. Like you,
Yeah.
forever bumping into people, and you just look normal. I mean, if you've got your prosthesis in, you just look normal. You say social media has helped you, but will you continue to document? Where do you see this journey going? Are you going to continue raising awareness for ocular melanoma? Are you going to
Oh, of
continue
course.
raising? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you see it becoming a part of your, I mean, it is obviously it's a massive part of your life, but actually the documenting of the journey and doing a chat, having a chat with me today, and I'm sure there'll be other people from this who are interested in talking to you. Where would you like to take, where would you like to put ocular melanoma as a platform in your life? I mean, it's a pretty difficult question, and I don't want to put you on the spot at all. Hey, I was a makeup artist for 35 years, and now randomly I'm hosting a podcast about a cancer that I'd never heard of. So things can change your course and your direction and your path. So just wondered if you'd had any thoughts at this young age of 20 as to what your plans were.
I believe that everything happens for a reason. So this has definitely happened to me for a reason, and I'm gonna make a good thing out of it. At first, I questioned, like, why is this happening to me and everything? But I've always wanted to help people ever since I was little. Animals, whether it was animals or people, I always wanted to help. And I feel like now that this has happened to me, it's given me the opportunity to actually help people and inspire people, make a difference, comfort people, create awareness. Like if they catch it early, they might not have to get their eye removed or, just to be aware of all of this. I want to create awareness and I want people to know that it's okay. If you do lose your eye, it's honestly not the end of the world. You can make a good thing out of it. You can make a good laugh out of it. It makes you different and special, and you're beautiful with or without an eye. It took a while for me to see that and realize that, but honestly, if I had to choose between like if I had to go back and have a choice whether to have my eye removed or not, I would have it removed and I'll go through everything that I've gone through now because it's made me the strong woman I am today. And I've learned so much from it. I've inspired people. People have inspired me. I've met amazing people who have really touched my heart and I've touched their heart. So I want to continue doing that. I definitely think that this is my calling and I want to continue spreading awareness and helping people and, sharing my journey and story.
That's just fabulous. And I mean, that will be a clip that we share for all to see. The fact that it is what you're doing, everything that you're doing is heartwarming, and yeah, it's really it sends shivers through me, Jordy. I know where you're coming from, and at such a young age, it's a terrible thing. I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I'm really proud of you that you can see beyond actually the trauma and the kind of really bad card that we have been dealt with. Because yes, I, like you, believe that everything happens for a reason, and situations choose people, and I kind of think that it chooses the people that can make something good out of a bad situation. So yeah, I do agree with you. Can I come back to your early diagnosis? Did you have any symptoms before that one day where you had that pain in your eye?
Oh, yes. I ignored them, but, if
Thank you
I
for
would be
being
at
honest.
school. I would be at school and we'd be walking to classes, and as soon as I left the classroom, we'd be walking back to our other class. Everything would go white in my one eye, and I thought, like, and everything, like, I would have to, like, just stand still and, like, hold my head and, like, close my eyes because everything went white, like a bright light was shining in this eye as well. And, it would be like a sharp pain, but it would only last like 2, 3 minutes. And then I'd shake it off. I'm like, okay, that was weird. And I felt a bit lightheaded. So I was like, oh, this could be low iron. Maybe I should get tested for that. But it didn't happen consistently. It happened every like few weeks randomly. So I was like, that's a bit weird. And I mentioned it to my mom, and then I never mentioned it again. She's like, oh, by the way, this happened to my eye. And then I'll just not talk about it ever again. So she was like, didn't make a thing out of it until I felt that eye pain. So, yeah, don't ignore your symptoms.
Actually, even just go and get your eyes tested anyway, because
No.
I mean, when was the last time you had an eye test? I mean, young people don't generally have the requirement to go and have an eye test because you've got this perfect vision and these beautiful young sparkly eyes and everything. So, I mean, there's so much that can be detected from a simple eye test, not just ocular melanoma. I mean, no one wants to come out of that. And bless you, you were really so sweet. I was really happy that you didn't have uveitis.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Honestly,
if you'd have known.
honestly, the last time I had my eye tested was like 12 years old or 13, when I was like, oh, mom, I think I need glasses. You know, that age where you just want glasses. I wanted broken bones. I wanted glasses. I wanted braces. I wanted everything. I never broke a bone. I've never broken a bone in my life. I got my eye removed though. So,
Yeah, well, you
um,
got to be careful what you wish for.
um, but yeah, so I'm a bit short sighted in this eye. Well, it was both eyes. So I did have glasses, but that was the last time I had my eyes tested. So I didn't go for
Okay.
any frequent eye tests at all, which is wrong. I think people should go for frequent eye tests. Whether they come back clear or not, it's better to be ahead of it in case and catch it early. If you catch it early, there could be something done about it and you won't have to lose your eye. Or, you can prevent the worst.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So do you wear glasses for your remaining eye?
Yes. So I do. I wear the same glasses I wore in grade 7. And we called it it was the year before high school, 12, 13
Okay.
years old. Um,
Yeah,
I've got the
we've got
same
the same
glasses.
system then. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I only wore them when I work. And sometimes even now, like, I don't wear my glasses, and then my eyes get so tired. I'm like, I should be wearing my glasses. Whenever I complain to my mom, she's like, have you been wearing the glasses? I'm like, no. And then she's like, yeah, you see. So,
That that'll
um,
be why. Yeah, because living with one eye, it's a lot of work for one little eyeball to cope with. I mean, especially if you're studying. I mean, I know working as well, but I think you probably get a bit more opportunity when you work to take those breaks, and there's
yeah.
occupational health to look after things and stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you're just sitting there and you're locked in, you're just going to keep going. But that poor little eye of yours must get so tired.
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, the beginning, it was so hard to adjust after I lost my eye. I was bumping into so many things. I couldn't walk down the stairs without holding onto the rail. I would take one step at a time. It was so bad. I couldn't, like, when you step down, you think you're touching the ground, and then you, like, go all the way down, and you're like, oh, like I wasn't on the
Yeah.
floor.
No, your depth perception is totally shot.
It's gotten a lot better though, I must say. I mean, I tried to play tennis like 5 days or a week after I had my eye removed. And oh my word, I was so bad. I missed every single shot. Nobody wanted me on my team. And I was like, no, I can do it. I could do it. I could not see how far the ball was to me. And I thought it would be coming here and I would just go all the way there. Or I thought it would be coming to me and it would land like, yeah, it was very hard to play tennis. But
Can you play now?
Well, I was never really good at it, but
Now
I
you've
can
got
hit
an
a few balls.
excuse.
I can hit a few balls now, if maybe like one or two maybe. But yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant. Well, you've got a wonderful excuse to be no good at tennis. If you could go back to that fateful day when you were really happy that you didn't have uveitis, what would you say to yourself?
Things get better. Things do get better. I just all the times all the nights I spent crying and hating how I look and comparing myself to other girls. Honestly, I thought my boyfriend would break up with me because of how I looked. I hated how I looked. I always appear to have like such confidence and love how I look, but they're still behind the scenes. They don't see the behind the scenes. And sometimes I do struggle with it. Not all the time. I haven't been upset about it in a while, but it comes in stages. Like I remember putting makeup on for the first time with my prosthesis. I looked at myself and I just burst into tears. I hated how I looked. I thought if I wore makeup, I could make the eye look smaller, but it was just honestly one of the most heartbreaking days. But, I had to be patient. One thing I had to learn was patience throughout this whole journey. Things don't get better like this. You have to go through the ups and downs and just take one step at a time, because things do get better. They do, eventually.
Well, maybe you and I should put something together as with my 35 years of makeup artist. Maybe we should do something and
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
teach you how
that'd be
to put
great.
your makeup on.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'd happily
Yeah.
do that. Jordy, thank you so much for giving me your time today and giving everybody some confidence and insight into your life and the soul that you are. Is there anything that you can see happening in a more grown-up Jordy? I'm not saying you're not mature now. I mean, my goodness me, you've been through enough. But I mean, as you literally get slightly older, if say you don't get that job you want for a while, is there anything else that you would like to do?
Yeah, I'd love to someday write a book about my life and experiences. Obviously, in the near future, because this is only not even the full journey. There's still going to be so much to come. And I'm so excited for my future. I think it's looking very bright. And yeah, I'd love to write a book about it. I used to be a swimmer, a competitive swimmer, and I loved swimming so much. She stopped swimming in my matric year, my last year of high school, the year I lost my eye. And I've wanted to get back into it, but I've always had these surgeries and problems with my eye, so I haven't actually been able to just get into it. But potentially swimming at the Paralympics is definitely it's a thought of mine and potentially a goal, and I would love to work towards that. I think that would be a really great ending to the book I'll be writing. So if that does happen, that would be amazing.
I will connect you with Naomi Riches, who is a Paralympian. She actually only lives around the corner from me here in England, in Marlow. She is a registered blind rower, and she got gold for us here in the UK. It would be wonderful to put you in touch with her, and maybe she can give you some pointers on what to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
If you or someone you know has been affected by the topics discussed in this episode, support and information are available. You can visit Ocular Melanoma UK at www.omuk.org for guidance, resources to connect with our helpline, and others who understand. Remember, no one should face ocular melanoma alone.